Do you remember the day you felt like you had lost everything? The moment when your dreams shattered, your hopes crumbled, and you thought you were beyond repair? I was there, not to judge you, but to plant a seed of hope in the soil of your failure. You see, in my garden, failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. Just as a seed must be buried in the dark earth, broken open, and seemingly lost before it can sprout and grow into something magnificent, your failures are the starting points for new growth. I don't discard you when you stumble. I nurture you, watering the seeds of your potential with grace and love. Let me paint you a picture. When a farmer plants a seed, he doesn't see it as a loss. He knows that seed has to go through something tough, hidden away in the dirt, cracked apart, pushing through the mud, before it can reach the sunlight and become a plant that bears fruit. That's how I see your failures. They're not wasted moments. They're the fertile ground where I'm planting seeds of wisdom, resilience, and compassion. You might feel buried right now, but I'm preparing you to rise. Take Peter, one of my closest friends. He walked with me, saw my miracles, swore he'd never let me down, but when the pressure hit, he denied me 3 times. He failed, big time, and he wept bitterly, thinking he'd ruined everything. But I didn't walk away from him. I sought him out, restored him, and that failure became the seed that grew into unshakable faith. He went on to lead thousands, a pillar of strength because of what he'd been through. Or think about Joseph. His own brothers sold him into slavery. He was falsely accused, thrown into prison, failure after failure piled up. But I was with him, shaping him through every low moment. Those setbacks were seeds, and they grew into a harvest of redemption that saved nations. What the world saw as loss, I turned into victory. I know that failure hurts. It can feel like a weight on your chest, making it hard to breathe. It can bring tears to your eyes and doubt to your heart. I see your pain, and I care deeply about it. But I also see beyond it, to the growth and strength that will come from it. I'm not blind to your struggles. I'm right there in them, holding you close. Now let's talk about you. I know you've had your share of failures. Maybe it was a relationship that fell apart despite your best efforts. Maybe a job slipped through your fingers, or a dream you chased ended in disappointment. Perhaps it was a mistake you made that hurt someone you love, and you still carry the guilt. Whatever it is, hear me now. I am not done with you. Your story is not over. What if your greatest failure is the very thing I will use to shape your purpose? What if the mistakes you regret most are the ones I'll transform into your greatest strengths? Can you trust me to turn your brokenness into beauty? Are you willing to let go of your shame and let me work in your life? I get it. Failure feels like a dead end, a wall too high to climb. But I see it differently. I see the potential in every misstep, the opportunity in every setback. I am the God who makes all things new, who brings life out of death, who turns mourning into dancing. That's not just a promise, it's who I am. Pause for a second and think, what's the failure that haunts you the most? The one that keeps you up at night whispering lies that you're not enough? Bring it to me. Let me show you how I can use it for good. Let me plant a seed of hope in that barren ground. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, but God, my failure is too big. I've messed up too badly. Let me stop you right there. There is no failure too great for my grace. My love for you doesn't come with conditions, and my power to redeem has no limits. I take what the world calls broken and make it whole again. It's what I do best. Look at the cross. To everyone watching, it looked like the ultimate failure. My son, nailed up there, dying a criminal's death. But I used that moment to pull off the greatest victory in history, the redemption of humanity. If I can turn a cross into a symbol of hope, imagine what I can do with your failures. So, my child, don't be afraid of failure. Embrace it as part of your journey. Trust that I'm with you, guiding you, shaping you. Every time you fall, I'm there to pick you up, dust you off, and set you on a new path. You're not a mistake to me. You're a masterpiece in the making. This is just the beginning of our journey together. In the next part, I'll show you how to spot the seeds I've planted in your failures and how to nurture them into something extraordinary. I'll walk you through the steps, the mindset, the faith you'll need to see this through. For now, rest in this truth. Your failures don't define you. They refine you. They're not the end. They're the start of something new and beautiful. So, my beloved, take heart. You're not alone in your failures. I am with you and I am for you. Together, we'll turn your setbacks into comebacks, your trials into triumphs. Trust me, and watch what I will do. Do you ever feel like you're being reshaped? Like clay in the hands of a potter? Each failure presses down on you, squeezes you, makes you think you're breaking apart. But what if I told you that every press, every moment of pressure, is part of my design to mold you into something beautiful? In the first part, we talked about how your failures aren't the end. They're the beginning. Like seeds buried in the dark, they break open to grow into something new. Now let's look at it another way. Picture a potter at his wheel. The clay doesn't become a vessel overnight. It's messy at first, lumpy, uneven, stubborn. The potter presses it, shapes it, sometimes even flattens it to start again. But he never throws it away. He sees what it can become, even when the clay can't. That's you and me. You're the clay, and I'm the potter. Your failures? They're not mistakes to me. They're moments when I'm reshaping you, refining you, preparing you for the purpose I've placed deep within you. It might hurt. I know it does, but it's not without meaning. Let me tell you about someone who felt that reshaping too. His name was Moses. You might know him as the man who parted the Red Sea, who led my people out of Egypt. But before all that, he was a man who knew failure intimately. Moses was raised in a palace, a prince among Egyptians, but his heart beat for the Hebrews, my people. One day he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. In a burst of anger, he killed the Egyptian. That was his first big failure. He didn't save anyone that day. He only made things worse. He had to run, leaving behind the life he knew, fleeing to the desert. For 40 years he lived there as a shepherd, 40 years of silence, of tending sheep instead of leading people. Can you imagine how that felt? To go from a palace to a pasture, from prince to nobody? He must have wondered if I'd forgotten him, if his failure had ruined everything. But I hadn't forgotten. Those years in the desert weren't wasted. They were part of my plan. I was reshaping him, smoothing out his impulsiveness, building his humility, teaching him to rely on me. When I called him at the burning bush, he didn't feel ready. He said, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh? I'm not eloquent. I've failed before." But I told him, "I will be with you." And I was. Moses' failures didn't disqualify him. They prepared him. Through them, I molded him into the leader who would bring my people to freedom. His story didn't end in the desert, and yours doesn't end with your failures either. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like Moses in the desert? Maybe you're there right now, stuck in a place where your dreams feel far away, where your failures loom large. Have you ever thought, God, have you forgotten me? Did I mess up too badly this time? Let me answer that for you. No, I haven't forgotten you. And no, you haven't messed up beyond my reach. What if your failures aren't the dead ends you think they are? What if they're the very things I'm using to shape you for what's ahead? I know it's hard to believe when you're hurting. Failure stings. It's raw and real. Maybe you've lost a job, watched a relationship crumble, or seen a dream slip through your fingers. In those moments, doubt creeps in. Fear whispers that you're not enough. But listen to me instead. You are enough, not because of what you've done, but because of who I am and what I'm doing in you. Let me give you some comfort. You're not alone in this. I see every tear, every restless night, every question you've thrown at the sky, and I'm right there with you, holding the clay of your life in my hands. I don't discard what I've started, I finish it. Think about this. Every failure teaches you something. When you fall, you learn how to get up. When you're rejected, you discover your worth doesn't come from others. When you miss the mark, you find strength you didn't know you had. Those lessons, they're the contours of the vessel I'm shaping. Let me share a little story. Imagine a young man who wanted to start a business. He poured everything into it, his savings, his time, his heart, but it failed. The debts piled up, and he felt like he'd let everyone down. For months, he wrestled with shame, but then he started volunteering at a community center, teaching others what he'd learned from his venture. Over time, he found purpose there, more than he ever did in his business. His failure didn't break him, it redirected him. Does that sound familiar? Can you think of a time when a failure pushed you toward something unexpected? Maybe something better? Or maybe you're still waiting to see it. That's okay. Trust me, I'm working even when you can't see the wheel turning. Now let's get honest. What's the fear holding you back right now? Is it the fear of failing again? The fear that you'll never measure up? Whatever it is, bring it to me. Don't hide it. Talk to me about it. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to guide you through it. When fear grips you, remember this. I didn't give you a spirit of fear. I gave you power, love, and a sound mind. Your failures don't define you. My love does. And I'm using every one of those failures to build resilience in you. Each time you face a setback and keep going, you're stronger than you were before. Think of David for a moment. Before he took down Goliath, he fought off lions and bears to protect his sheep. Those smaller battles, those failures and triumphs, prepared him for the giant. Your failures are doing the same. They're not random. They're training ground for what's to come. So, my child, don't run from your failures. Lean into them. Trust that I'm shaping you through them. I'm not done with you yet. Far from it. In the next part, we'll talk about how to spot the lessons in your failures and turn them into steps forward. I'll show you how to take what feels broken and make it beautiful. For now, rest in this. You're not being discarded. You're being reshaped. Your failures aren't the end of your story. They're the middle, where the real growth happens. I'm with you, always. You're never alone in this. Trust my hands. Trust my heart. The vessel I'm crafting is worth the process, I promise. We've journeyed together through the garden of your life, where I've planted seeds in the soil of your failures, and through the potter's studio, where I've been shaping you with every press and turn. Now, my child, it's time to step back and see the bigger picture, the masterpiece I've been crafting all along. In the first part, I told you that your failures are like seeds. They're not the end, but a beginning. Buried in the dark, broken open and hidden for a season so they can grow into something beautiful. In the second part, I showed you how I'm like a potter, taking the clay of your life and reshaping it through every stumble, molding you into a vessel of strength and purpose. Now let's bring these threads together and see where they lead. Imagine a garden in full bloom. Flowers stretch toward the sun, their petals vibrant, their roots anchored deep in the earth. Those roots didn't appear overnight. They started as seeds that had to surrender, crack apart, and trust the soil to hold them. That's what your failures have been, beloved. Seeds I've planted with purpose. Every tear you've shed, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, I've been there tending to you. I've watered those seeds with my grace, warmed them with my love, and watched them begin to sprout. And then there's the potter's wheel. You've felt the weight of my hands, the pressure of being flattened and rebuilt. Maybe you've wondered why the process feels so hard, why the wheel keeps spinning. But look at what's happening. You're no longer just a lump of clay. You're becoming something extraordinary. A vessel with depth, with character, shaped by every failure and every moment of surrender. I don't discard what's broken. I refine it. Your cracks aren't flaws. They're where my light shines through. Can you see it yet? Your failures aren't random. They're part of a plan bigger than you can imagine. I'm the God who sees the end from the beginning. And I promise you this. What feels like a mess to you is a masterpiece to me. Every seed planted, every press of my hands is guided by my love for you. Your failures aren't the final word. I am. And I say you are enough. You are chosen. And you are being made new. Think about Moses for a moment. He failed spectacularly. Fled Egypt, spent 40 years in the desert thinking his story was over. But I was preparing him to lead my people. Or Peter, who denied me 3 times, weeping in shame. That failure didn't disqualify him. It refined him into the rock I built my church upon. Your failures are no different. They're not dead ends. They're training grounds for the calling I've placed on your life. Here's something I want you to carry with you. Your failures do not define you, they refine you. The world might label you by your mistakes, but I name you by your purpose. You're not a failure. You're a work in progress, and I'm not finished with you yet. Let's pause and reflect. If you can, close your eyes for a moment. Picture the garden of your life. See those seeds of failure, those hard moments, beginning to break through the soil. Tiny green sprouts reach for the light, fragile but fierce. Feel the warmth of my presence like sunlight, drawing them upward. Now, imagine yourself as clay in my hands. Feel the gentle pressure as I smooth the edges, the steady rhythm of the wheel as I shape you into who you're meant to be. You're not done, but you're on your way. Rest in that. As we close this journey, let me offer you a prayer. Dear child, I pray you hold this truth close. I am with you in every failure, weaving beauty from what feels broken. Trust my process, lean into my strength, and know that I am working all things for your good. May you see your failures as seeds of growth, your struggles as moments of shaping. May you walk in hope, knowing your story is still unfolding, and I am writing every page with love. Amen. Before we part, let me leave you with this. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the soil where success grows. Every victory you'll taste, every dream you'll step into, will be built on the lessons of falling short. So don't run from failure. Embrace it. Let it teach you resilience. Let it grow your faith. Let it pull you closer to me. Here's a quiet challenge for you. As you go through your day, look for the sprouts of growth in your life. Notice how your failures have shaped you, maybe made you kinder, stronger, more aware of my grace. When you see those signs, whisper a thank you to yourself for pressing on, and to me for never letting go. That's how you'll internalize this message, by living it, one small step at a time. Remember this, my beloved. I don't just redeem your failures. I use them to reveal your purpose. What the world calls a mistake, I call a miracle in the making. You're not defined by where you've fallen, but by how I'm lifting you up. I'm the God who brings beauty from ashes, who turns mourning into dancing, who makes all things new, including you. Your failures aren't the end of your story. They're the middle, where the real transformation happens. And the best part? I'm writing the final chapter, and it's more glorious than you can dream. So lift your head, trust my plan, lean into my love. I'm with you always, through every seed buried, every vessel shaped, every step forward. Go in hope, my child. You're not just surviving your failures, you're thriving through them. And I'm so proud of you.